There is something happening in the crypto market right now that I believe is going to shape and impact the way that the rest of this year goes and possibly even the next coming years. Now, I know that sounds dramatic and I know it sounds over the top, but if you give me this video, I'll show you that I'm not being dramatic at all. And this thing that's happening right now is incredibly important. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Tyler Hill. I am one of the co-founders of the Crypto Strategy School, one of the biggest schools in crypto. And I do post here on YouTube every single day with one goal in mind, and that is to help you understand crypto better. And today we're going to start going deep into what exactly this decision is and why it's so important, why this thing that's happening, this decision that's being made can absolutely shape the way that my portfolio looks the rest of this year, your portfolio, basically everyone's portfolios. And so we have a good bit to unpack today, so let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. Now, looking at the market today, I mean, you can kind of see how things are going. Your crypto fear and greed index has absolutely nosedived to the 15 level, one of the lowest levels that it's been to since 2022, 2023. The crypto bubble showed the picture itself. I mean, the last day has been disgusting. The last week has been disgusting. The last month has been disgusting. Hell, even if you go to the last year, realistically, it's not even been that great here either. A lot of red, a lot of losses, and a lot of negativity throughout the market. Now, this is a very, crappy time in the market, and it's not a fun time in the market, and we've covered a lot of that over the last week. We've seen tariffs, we've seen economics, we've seen everything impacting crypto so much that it's really just creating an almost impossible situation for you to make money unless you're betting that the market's going to go down. But interestingly enough, as all of this has been happening, as the market's been falling, as things have been getting uglier, people are getting more upset, people are quitting crypto and leaving crypto, as all of these things are happening, something's been getting closer. There's been this decision, this thing that's been getting closer and closer and closer. And it kind of was just a thought at one point a couple weeks ago. And then over the weeks, it started to get a little bit more on the horizon. We're starting to notice this thing approaching us, and now it's staring us in the face. And this thing that I'm referring to, and we're going to get to in a second, has the potential to determine whether or not this year is a profitable or negative year for crypto. Whether or not the rest of these next 12, possibly even 24 months are going to be fun or not so fun. And I know, again, how dramatic it sounds, but let me show you that what I'm talking about is not nonsense. It is true. So what we're going to be focusing in on today is what's called the 50 moving average for Bitcoin. Now, I know some of you don't like the whole technical side of things or maybe even understand it to some degree, but just trust me when I tell you, this is very important. The 50 moving average for Bitcoin has a history of helping us determine or decide whether or not Bitcoin and crypto in general is or is not in a bull market. Let me just say that again. Let me just say that again so you understand. The 50 moving average for Bitcoin has a history of helping us decide or determine whether or not crypto is in a bull market or a bear market. And we have now reached the 50 moving average. I believe that Bitcoin is about to make one of the few major decisions that will decide whether or not this bull market is actually over or not. Because there's a lot of speculation, right? Some people saying it is, some people saying it isn't. It's a lot of speculation. There's QE, there's QT, there's economics, inflation. There's so many things going on. No one truly knows whether or not this bull market is over or not. It feels like it seems like it looks like it, but there are some things that are kind of the saving graces, right, of the market here. But those are all speculative. This is not so much a speculation. History has shown that the decision that is made when Bitcoin reaches that 50 moving average will help us determine truly whether or not this is a bull market or not. And what you can see, as I mentioned before, is we're there. Last night, we came within $1,000 of the 50 moving average. And let me show you what this looks like historically. What happens historically when Bitcoin hits this 50 MA? So when Bitcoin hit the 50 MA for the first time since, let's say, 2018, you can see how this played out. After hitting the 50 moving average right here, Bitcoin's price recovered a bit before inevitably losing it. After losing the 50 moving average right here, Bitcoin ended up going negative for roughly 224 days before bottoming out and starting to try to make a climb back to the upside. Now, from there, Bitcoin's price hit that 50 moving average and pushed up higher than it and actually cleared it again, signaling that likelihood is, well, the bear market of this, 2017, 2018 pullback is probably over. Well, what do you know? From that point forward, Bitcoin rallies like crazy for another 80 days, going straight upwards, putting in crazy 100% of gains, and actually ended up seeing some of the, some optimism, like Bitcoin may actually be back. Well, what do you know? The pandemic hits, things get quite ugly. Obviously, we saw the world shut down, everything shut down, and crypto as a result did collapse. But the beautiful part about it is that although Bitcoin did end up falling after losing the 50 moving average 55%, it was able to recover and it was able to somewhat shake back, eventually re-clearing it, going on to see the biggest bull market that crypto's ever seen with gains of over 700% after re-clearing the 50 moving average there. Now, do you remember back in 2021? Some of you were probably here. In 2021 summer, we were deciding and trying to debate whether or not the bull market was over or not as well. Back here, no one really knew because we just went crazy. Things went nuts. All the craziness with all the meme coins. I mean, this looked like a cycle top. It felt like a cycle top. And many still do consider this to be the cycle top for Bitcoin. Well, what do you know? Bitcoin's price starts pulling back. It starts falling, falling, falling up until what? Up until it hits that 50 moving average. And you know what it does? It loses it a couple times, but regains it, loses it a couple times and regains it, and builds support here, using it to then climb to a new all-time high. So the 50 moving average back in 2021 and back here determined when we were in or were not in a bull market. Well, what do you know? We see Bitcoin's price start falling. It comes back to that 50 moving average and it falls down below it. When was this? The beginning of the bear market. From the time that Bitcoin's price came down and lost this 50 moving average, it then signaled the beginning of the bear market in which Bitcoin's price fell over 70% from $50,000 at the time all the way down to $15,000. Now, moving a little bit along, after Bitcoin did bottom out, guess what happened? Bitcoin's price ran up to the 50 moving average. It ran into a little bit of resistance. We eventually cleared it. And what did that signal? The beginning of the bull market. And throughout the bull market that we've been in since 2023, Bitcoin has come very close to or touched the 50 moving average, not only once, but twice. And both of the times that we hit the 50 moving average since then, we've used it as support to continue upwards, once back here and then once last year. You know, many people tend to forget that last year, people were saying that the bull market was going to end early, that this was going to be the shortest cycle in history as a result of inflation problems and as a result of the Israel war. Everyone back in April, May, June was screaming, this market's over. The halving won't matter. We're hitting all-time high. We're going to hit all-time high sooner than the halving, and then it's all going to be over. Everyone was screaming that the bull market was not going to happen right here. But we hit that 50 moving average, and we pumped. And so I don't think I need to continue on past, 2018 for you to see that every time we interact with the 50 moving average, it turns into a massive decision of whether or not we lose a huge level of support or not. And now, am I going to go as far as to say that we for sure are in a bear market if we lose the 50 moving average? No, because nothing can guarantee that. I mean, the reality of it is that we could lose the 50 MA, come down to 57,000. The government announces this huge stimulus to boost the economy, and then everything absolutely takes off, right? We are in one of the most manipulated economies and markets that history has ever seen. And so the likelihood is that all of these previous patterns that we track aren't going to be as applicable as they were in the past, but they are still worth noting. They are still worth looking at. And so, no, I'm not going to go as far as to say, well, if we lose, $75,000, we're for sure in a bear market. I'm not going to go that far to say it, but it does become much more likely. And this is much more problematic because the 50 moving average is one of the most bullish support zones that there is in any asset class in any time period that you look. And so as a result of that, knowing that we are currently sitting at that 50 moving average, we need to be watching this very closely. Now, before I tell you what my plan is here, I will remind you, I know this whole talk, technicals, Fibonacci's, moving averages can get a little complicated. If you are someone who's trying to get a grip and understanding of how all this works, do not forget to go down below. There's a free beginner's guide that teaches you a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about, what are moving averages and how to invest in crypto, how to get started in crypto. And there's even a Beyond the Basics guide that goes even further into the technicals where you can learn about indicators, you can learn about fundamental analysis, you can learn a whole bunch of stuff that we talk about here every day on the channel. So if you ever get a little confused here while we're talking about all these technicals and things like that, do not forget to go get those 2 free guides down in the description below. They're available for you. Again, they are completely for free. Over 30 pages of free value for you. Go download that down below. Now, what's next? What's the plan? Knowing that Bitcoin is about to make a gigantic decision, a massive decision that is going to impact crypto for, again, what could be years. What am I doing? Well, my strategy remains very simple. I'm not doing anything big, no big buys, no big sells. But I am now back into the art of dollar cost averaging as a result of knowing, hey, there's a chance. Whether you're bullish or bearish, you must admit there's a chance that Bitcoin's price comes back to this 50 moving average, which is currently sat at around 75,500, and it builds some support. And it uses that support to try to climb higher, to maybe climb back towards 93,000 or 100,000. If there was any level that could push Bitcoin's price back upwards a bit, it is the 50 moving average. And that is historically proven. That's not just Tyler speculating. You can see that, right? And so knowing that there is a chance that Bitcoin continues upwards and that it does push back up to these higher levels, I am going to be doing some dollar cost averaging here. Now you can see from the Discord server, these aren't huge dollar cost averages. These aren't huge buys, but they're buys. I did a small dollar cost average on Bitcoin yesterday at $77,000 as we were bouncing off of that support level. Now Bitcoin's at 81,000. So that little DCA that we did down here is already up. Now, is it up a lot? No. Do I even care about those gains? No. But it just goes to show you, I am doing some buying here. Because is it a guaranteed shot that we hold support and continue upwards? Of course not. But it's also not a guarantee that we lose support. And when I can get an opportunity to buy into this market, when we are at extreme fear, a place we rarely get to, when liquidations are so heavily favored to a move to the upside, and we're sitting on one of the most important levels of support that the world has ever seen, of course I'm going to take advantage of it. And of course I'm going to do some buying here. Now, I'm not opening up leverage long trades. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm not opening up 100x, 50x, 10x, 5x. I'm not opening up any leverage long trades. And you can if you want to, right? Opening up a leverage long trade on very low leverage with the stop loss set a little bit below that 50 simple moving average just in case we wick below it isn't a terrible idea. It's just not one that I'm doing. Now, if you do want to do it, I will let you know that I have a crazy deal with Fimix down below, just to kind of shamelessly plug this real quick. A crazy deal where when you just sign up, they'll give you $50 in trading bonuses. And once you do start trading, you can get over $1,000. And once you do deposit money and before you start trading, they'll give you up to $500. So if you literally just sign up today and deposit some cash, you might get up to $550 before you do anything. So go check the link out down in the description below. That's available for you. This is one of, if not the best trading platform in the world. It's definitely top 5 in my opinion. You can do everything isolated, all that stuff. And so again, even though I'm not trading right now, that doesn't mean you don't have to. And there are some decent trade setups right now. So if that is something that's interesting to you and you're not a beginner to trading, hit the link down below. Leverage trading is not for beginners. Don't do it. If you're a beginner, go get your free guide. Don't start leverage trading, please. But that's my plan. Keeping it very basic. I'm keeping it very simple. I'm going to dollar cost average as we get here, and I'm just going to sit and wait. And the sad truth is, guys, there is a chance that we sit here for a while. That Bitcoin's price tries to make this decision of whether or not it's going to hold support or not for a while. Because if you look at it, right, we were in this general area for a couple months last time. I mean, right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks. We sat here. Prior to that, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks there as well. And in the last bull market, we sat in this little area for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's odd. Three times we sat here for 10 weeks. That's 2.5 months. There is an opportunity that we're here for a while. Obviously, no guarantees. And just because we sat here for a while last time doesn't mean we're going to sit here for a while this time. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is while I am waiting to see how this plays out, I'm going to slowly be dollar cost averaging. And I'm going to be practicing patience. You guys know what I say here on the channel a lot. Impatience is expensive in a market like this one. I'll say that again. Impatience is expensive in a market like this one. And what that means is that I'm not just going to rush it. I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to just start leverage trading just because I'm getting bored. I'm not going to start doing big buys because I'm bored or big sells because I'm bored. Because you know why? The moment that I allow my impatience to dictate my trading, I lose almost every time. And I don't lose a little, I lose a lot. And therefore, impatience is expensive. And I'm not going to make that mistake here. And so I'm going to just dollar cost average. I'm going to sit back and watch. And if that means I'm watching this for the next 2 months, that's what I'm going to do. Is it going to be hard to make content about the same thing? It is what it is. I don't care because impatience is expensive. And as someone who's been in this market for several years now, I'm not going to make mistakes that have cost me that much money in the past. And I would hope you don't either. So that's where we are. Bitcoin is about to make one of the most important decisions that it's made in a very long time. And what happens at this 50 moving average is going to be a massive determining factor of what the rest of this year and possibly the rest of this market looks like. So you need to watch it closely. My homework from you is to go to TradingView, go to indicators, type in 50 moving average and watch. Go to the weekly charts and watch, because a massive decision is going to be made. Now, whenever I do my dollar cost averaging, when I do all my buys, when I do all my sells, if I do some trades, which won't be anytime soon, I will be posting it all over in the Discord. The Discord is attached to the school that I told you about earlier in the video. And the school is where you can get, more value than I've ever seen before. What we do, according to our super cool roadmap, is we take crypto investors like yourselves. We give you value. And by value, I mean courses, coaching, classes, live streams, deep dives, research, analysis, trade signals, and much more. So a ton of value, not just a little bit, to help you refine your strategies, because strategies create gains, not aimlessly buying and selling, strategies. And when I say gains, I'm talking about real gains. I'm not talking about those gains you'll see in other communities. I'm talking about real gains. Even in the last 24 hours, when the market's been tough, it's been struggling, we're seeing hundreds of percentages in gains, hundreds of thousands of dollars being made by these community members. And again, this is just in the last 24 hours. This is not by mistake. This is not a coincidence. You can check it yourself. And so all of that's available for you down below. And the best part about it is that you get your money back guaranteed, and it starts as little as $5 a month. So go to the description down below. Go check that out. It will be linked down there for you. So go check those things out. Don't forget, if you have been enjoying the content, you can go follow me on Twitter at TylerHillYT and on Instagram at TylerHillYT_. If you don't want to see more from me, go get your free guides right now. And if you are a trader, go sign up for Fimix. But in the meantime, I am going to be here updating you every step of the way here on YouTube, on the shorts, on Instagram, on Twitter. So I hope you guys are excited. I hope you're enjoying the content. I've been trying very hard to increase the quality and the quantity of the content. So let us know down in the comments below. And I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.